Welcome to Mysterious Cases, the show where we lead you into the shadows of true crime, into stories long buried, but never truly laid to rest. I'm Secret Man, your guide through the details, doubts, and dark corners of the world's most haunting unsolved mysteries. In this very first episode, we unravel a case that shocked the world. A disappearance that seemed straightforward until it ended in a way no one could have predicted. A story that still keeps millions awake at night. This is the case of Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old college student from Canada traveling alone to Los Angeles. She checked into the infamous Cecil Hotel, a building with a long, disturbing history of death, crime, and things best left in the dark. Just days after her arrival, Elisa vanished without a trace. The last footage of her, captured by the hotel's elevator camera, sparked fear and fascination around the globe. Her strange gestures, her nervous glances, as if someone or something was following her. And then, her body was discovered, floating inside one of the rooftop water tanks, inaccessible to guests, locked away, no signs of injury, no evidence of foul play. Yet somehow she was there, alone, dead. Tonight we'll walk through the facts, her final hours, the video that launched 1,000 theories, and the chilling aftermath. Was it a tragic accident? A cry for help ignored, or something darker? Put on your headphones, turn down the lights, because what you're about to hear might forever change the way you look at an elevator, a hotel room, or the silence behind a closed door. Elisa Lam arrived in Los Angeles on January 7th, 2025. She had been traveling alone through the west coast of the United States, part of a solo adventure she documented on her Tumblr blog. Her words were honest, personal, and often full of introspection. She struggled with bipolar disorder, something she didn't hide from the world. But she also dreamed big, searched for meaning, and wanted above all to connect. The Cecil Hotel, where she booked her stay, was known for cheap rooms and a central location in downtown LA, but beneath its price and convenience was a sinister legacy. Over the decades, it had been linked to murders, suicides, overdoses, and even hosted serial killers. Still, to Elisa, it was just a stop along her journey. At first, she shared a room with other guests, but after complaints about her odd behavior, she was moved to a private room. No one knew exactly what that behavior was. No one ever clarified. Then, on January 31st, Elisa vanished. She didn't check out. She missed a scheduled call with her parents. Her phone stopped responding. The police were called, and a search began. They combed through her room, questioned staff, and brought in search dogs, but found nothing. It wasn't until the hotel released a piece of surveillance footage that the public truly took notice: the elevator video. In it, Elisa appears visibly distressed. She steps into the elevator, presses multiple buttons, then seems confused when the doors won't close. She peeks outside, jumps back, gestures wildly, as if speaking to someone just out of view. Her hands move erratically, her eyes wide with panic. Then, she vanishes from frame. No one ever saw her alive again. It had been 19 days since Elisa Lam disappeared. The search had turned cold. Police continued to receive tips, but none led anywhere. Her social media had gone silent. No credit card activity, no witnesses. It was as if she had simply vanished into thin air. Meanwhile, the Cecil Hotel was still open for business. Guests came and went, many of them complaining about the low water pressure, the strange taste, and a foul, dark-colored liquid coming from the taps. Then, on February 19th, a hotel maintenance worker climbed to the roof to check the water tanks. What he found would haunt him forever. Inside one of the large black tanks was the naked, decomposing body of Elisa Lam floating just below the surface. She had been in there the whole time. Firefighters were called. The tank had to be drained. Elisa's body was removed carefully and an autopsy was ordered. There were no visible injuries, no bruises, no cuts, no signs of assault. Her clothes were found at the bottom of the tank, separate from her body. The questions piled up instantly. How had she gotten there? The roof was secured. Only hotel staff had access to the locked doors and alarmed stairwells. The tanks were heavy, metal, and difficult to climb. Lifting a lid and slipping inside, nearly impossible, especially alone. Police ruled her death accidental drowning. The toxicology report showed no illegal drugs or alcohol, only traces of her prescribed medication. But to the public, that explanation felt hollow. After the autopsy, the Los Angeles County coroner listed Elisa Lam's death as an accidental drowning, brought on by her bipolar disorder and possible mental disorientation. No signs of struggle, no drugs, no foul play. But the public wasn't convinced. Why? Because too much didn't add up. First, there's the issue of how she got to the rooftop. The only access points were a locked door and a fire escape. The doors were alarmed. No footage showed Elisa entering the stairwells, and yet she was found in the tank, a place not meant for anyone to reach, much less open and enter alone. Second, the elevator video. It still haunts the internet today, her strange movements, the way the elevator doors refused to close. Some said it was a glitch. Others believed she was being chased. A few went further, calling it proof of something paranormal. Ghosts. A dark presence inside the hotel. After all, the Cecil Hotel's history is soaked in blood, from serial killers like Richard Ramirez to suicides from its upper floors. Third, there were conspiracy theories. People speculated about possible cover-ups. Some pointed to coincidences, like a tuberculosis outbreak near the hotel shortly after Elisa's death. The tests used to detect it. Lam Elisa, the same as her name. Coincidence or something else? But perhaps the most tragic explanation is the simplest. That Elisa Lam was a young woman battling mental illness, lost in a moment of fear, confusion, and vulnerability. And the world watched, speculated, and twisted her story into something far beyond her control. To this day, no one knows what truly happened in those final hours. The door to the truth may remain locked forever. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Mysterious Cases. I'm Secret Man, and if this case left you with more questions than answers, that's exactly the point. Some mysteries aren't meant to be solved. They're meant to remind us that even in a world full of cameras, science, and logic, there are still shadows we can't explain. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.